I hope people get it. Finally, wham! Ben uses his failed invention, the snapper, to turn the flashlight off, such that he not only gets his moment of victory within the museum as the night guard, but as the idea man for whom nothing's ever worked out, it finally does work out, and all of it works out. This sequence coming up, I'll just keep talking over the credit. This used to be within the body of the movie, but it kind of trumped. Yet when we took it out of the movie, a lot of people were like, what happens to the night guard? So we put it in kind of in this compromised position, so that you know that ultimately Larry didn't send the old night guards to jail, but they do get their comeuppance as they're bumped down to being, museum janitors. And that was gonna be the end of that. But on the day that we shot this scene, Tom Hamill, who was one of the executive producers and one of our line producers, this is a guy who almost never spoke, like a real quiet guy. He comes to me and kind of almost in a whisper, he goes, well, wouldn't it be kind of fun to stand on we have the night guards dance. And this is the result. And I couldn't be more grateful for this gesture. Not only do I love this kind of weird Axl Rose singing thing, but look at the booty shake.
And then he's sitting there, he glares at you.
He's full on booty shaking too. I love it. And I think that that's probably, I think that the final thought I'll share is a lot of people have asked me, is it weird that Fox would give a movie like this to you? You're a comedy director, you're not a big kind of effects adventure, tentpole lead director. And that sounds really wrong. But the point is, I see something at work well beyond this movie. When you have guys like me doing Night at the Museum, a guy like Mark Waters doing Spiderwick Chronicles, a guy like Chris White doing his Dark Materials, and frankly, it all started with the director of Heavenly Creatures doing a little movie called Lord of the Rings. I think that thanks to Peter Jackson's lead, there's a kind of ground shift on the part of the studio in the realization that these effects movies, they don't need to be done by tech geeks. In fact, they might be better done sometimes by people who are storytellers first and technicians secondly. Because ultimately, and I think Lord of the Rings is as good an example of this as any, and hopefully Night at the Museum is a further illustration of this point. If the story works, if the characters work, the movie's going to succeed. If the story and the characters fail, and the movie is nothing but spectacle, then you've lost. And I think that a recognition of that, a recognition of the primacy of the storytelling, is frankly a good sign. And hopefully result in better movies and better stories being told in film. So thanks for listening, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.
It just seems longer. See, this was really a weekend. It was just like, no, it's actually, it's like, it's several months. Oh, it was like a 3-day weekend. It was closed for a long time. You don't sound like the movie guy. In my head, I do. You don't. You sound kind of like the Carl's Jr. guy. Oh. That's pretty good. I have to tell you, I got paid just because I was singing a little bit in the phone. Those were good people. Probably make more of those. Yes, probably. Probably. No, definitely. And I feel like that's why. Yes. Get nice paycheck every time you pop this. Every time you watch this, somehow the VCR tells Survivor. Yes. Right. There's a chip. The backbone raining down Survivors. Yep, Survivor. All right. Nope, nothing again. Nothing.